All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Capsule. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Another episode of the Capsule. Another episode of
the Capsule.
I think should we do a thing where it's like, because usually I introduce people, but I feel like when it's regular, it should be like, welcome to another episode of the Capsule. My name is Luke.
My name is Jenny.
Hey, see, that was pretty good.
Yeah. It's as if we're
you still always
it's as if we're in
the
sync.
mic.
It's as if we're in sync.
In sync?
Yeah.
We're not Backstreet Boys?
No.
Okay, cool. So we had a busy weekend. We've got a lot of topics to get through today. We're also going to have a members only episode because we've got some bits to talk about. I think that 2v2 battle I think it's in Paris, the 100 grand battle. I think we can chat about that behind the scenes for now. We will do more about it on the public episodes when I have more information, but we'll keep our speculation for behind the paywall for now. But yeah, go and join our members only channel. The details will be at some point during this
and
episode.
we'll make more and more content.
More and more content. So where should we begin, Nike?
You're in charge. I feel like as time advances, the living room, aka the studio, is getting more and more branded.
Yeah. Well, this isn't going to stay here. I just thought it'd be nice to celebrate the Own the Floor sessions. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, so we've finished. It's finite.
Well, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. No, not the episode, the sessions.
How do you feel?
I don't know how I feel. I feel good. It's hard. I feel like I can never enjoy it. Like, as soon as it's done, while it's happening, I'm like, okay, I'm just trying to get to the end of it. And then as soon as it's done, I'm like, all right, what's next? So I never get a point of just being like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Maybe like the second one or something, I was like, oh, this is sick.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's just like, okay, how can we make it better? What can we do next?
Right.
How can we build on this? Like, I don't know, my brain goes into a little bit of like
overdrive.
Yeah. It's like, I guess it's like anyone that runs an event or, I don't know, a wedding or something, or your birthday. It's like,
right. It's like so much.
You did it, but it's like, did you, I don't know.
It's like so much anticipation, and then when it's happening, you're like, is everybody okay?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay, well, why don't you tell us what were the highlights? Because we did go out with a bang.
We did go out with a bang. The last session was really good, I think.
Yeah.
Bigger numbers than we had at any of the other sessions, I think, across the whole night, and pre-sold tickets. I think it was like, we obviously added some extra bits for people that weren't there. We had some loaded fries, we had some slushies, we had what else did we even have? We had a bigger
tote bag giveaway.
Yeah, tote bag and poster to give to everyone. First 15 people through the door got a hoodie, and then a sweatshirt, and then a bunch of other people got them in the ciphers and stuff. And we had a big breaking floor in the main thing. The logo wasn't quite as secure as we would have liked it, but it's fine. It's hard to when you have those type of people sliding all over it.
Yeah, and also it's like some of the writing was really like fine.
Yeah, exactly.
And we had, speaking of a big breaking floor, we also had a big breaking battle.
We did also, Battalions and Ill Warriors.
That was a really nice battle.
Yeah, they killed it. They were really, really good. I can't believe Jetsai is only 16.
It's crazy.
He just finished his GCSEs. That shit is crazy.
But he's so good.
Yeah. And they're all super lovely people, and like nice mix of styles and stuff. So yeah, I really enjoyed that battle as well. That was a really good one. I think that and the AIM versus Rare was the most like hype battles. And then it's like you have the so we had AIM versus Rare and that one. That was two of them.
Yeah.
The showcases I really liked, because it was like, I really liked those specific styles being showcased and like letting people have a chance to see Memphis Jukin, Shui style and Hustle.
Yeah.
And they all killed it more than I thought they would.
Right.
Like, it was so cool to see, like, and also in different ways. Like Shui, it was like a big group thing.
Yeah.
Hustle was really different. Like Memphis Jukin, it was really like raw and like new.
Yeah, it was really different. Like the three showcases were really different.
Yeah,
from
it worked
each other.
out so well, like how I had it in my head. And then what else do we have? With the whacking one, which was completely different from all the other ones.
Yeah, which was just like a love fest on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think the Afro and House was like a mix between like the hype battles and the love stuff, because it's like very lovey free styles, but everyone was still going for it. So it's like a really nice, and also the music was very different to all the other stuff.
That.
So I think it was overall was quite a
Like I think over the 6 sessions, there's like a good range that was covered.
Yeah, for sure. We didn't have anything at the first one, because I think this is also the thing which I was saying to Playmaker, who are the event agency or the I don't know exactly what you'd call them, production agency or the event. Like they basically did
activate
did all the logistics of it. But I was talking to them about it, and it's like it was nice because we had 6, so we were able to like learn from each one, and like build, like the first one we didn't even have an exhibition battle, and then like the speakers changed. There was loads of things that we communicated with the venue that we needed to change. There's loads of things that like people communicated to us that we changed as we went, and it's like if we just done one event, we wouldn't have been able to do it. It would have been one and done. But this was like, okay, over 6 we can learn and build it up. And I think the last one was the best one because we'd learned from all the other bits. Do you know what I mean? And even people had learned. Like we noticed towards the 3rd or 4th one, like the first one, everyone was there at 6, bang on, and just got to like 10 and were exhausted. And then it's like, okay, especially because there's a lot of young people as well. Like like towards the second half of them, they started arriving later, and it's like, okay, now you understand. Like, okay, doors open at 6, but you don't need to arrive until later, and you understand like the flow of the night. Like nobody goes to a nightclub at the time the doors open, so it was kind of that idea.
But I also feel like, you know, from the first one where it was just kind of a night running, like as a whole DJs night,
in a space.
It was like adding the showcase and just that moment in the night that everybody gets together and everybody kind of has a moment.
Yeah,
like I feel like from like. It's kind of, there's a different vibe before the event or the battle and after. Like, I feel like it really kind of consolidates like the energy in the room.
Yeah.
So that was a really nice like addition to bring.
What else? I think
the DJs killed it. And I mean,
all of the DJs killed it.
And this is like something that is cool / interesting. But like I feel like the vibe at each session was quite different, you know, and not like it's not like, oh, there's one session that it was like only Afro and house, but it's like there's, let's say, one that it was like it felt like it was that style that was dominating,
because it's also dependent on the people in the room, and the like how the DJ, it's like it shows that DJing is like an actual creative art form and not just people you should shove at the back of the room, you know? Because like based on how people were vibing and who was in the room, they played into that, and it made the nights really dope.
Yeah, so no, it was really cool, and each session had a different vibe, but they were all dope in a different way, and it was just nice to have like, you know, to kind of see and hear like different DJs that are active in the scene, and that like some of them we might see more in battles, but to really like get to hear them play like how they want to play, you know?
Yeah, and I didn't give the DJs any instruction. The only thing I said was like, I want as many different like types of dancer to feel included as possible.
Right.
So like if they could play like as much of a wide range of styles of music, so everyone feels like they can be included. But I also said, I don't want that to override your DJ senses. Like if there's something happening, you make the executive decision of, all right, we're going
like everybody's vibing.
Yeah, we're going for Afro for the rest of the night, or we're going for house. You know what I mean? Like if that, like, kind of fuck what I said and do your thing. But like I want everyone to feel included, but if everybody's vibing, don't
be short. Like, well, no, it's the popping section.
Exactly. And it's like that's up to you, and that's your DJ ear in the moment. That's something I can't do in that way. So I wanted to give them that creative freedom. And even during the battle and stuff, like all of the different battles, like obviously there was like kind of ones that was like, okay, Eamon Rare is like popping in hip hop, Afro and house battles. But even with that, I said, if you guys want to take some creative risks and give the dancers something different, like by all means, like it doesn't need to be judged. So in that way, it doesn't need to be like, oh, this wasn't a particularly popping song. It's like, no, just play what you want to play. And what songs like you enjoy and whatever, and the dancers will get down to that. That's kind of the beauty of it being that type of session. So yeah, it was really cool. There's some people, I think we spoke about it, but some people asked like, how did it start, or how did how did it become a thing, the Nike sessions?
How did it become a thing?
So for those of you that haven't been listening every week, please do tune in more often. But
please start listening every week.
Yeah, no, it was basically, the idea was I pitched it to them a long time ago, like a year and a half ago at this point.
Is it?
Yeah, it was like February 2023
that
I first went in for the meeting with him. I actually emailed Harry, the beginning of the year or even Christmas time or something like that. But basically it was like, what the original idea was I just wanted to do a jam in a studio once a month.
Right.
I was like, because I was even talking about it before with a couple of different people, but like, everyone does this thing where they hire out Vatican or they hire out a studio, and they do a 2 or 3 hour session. So I was like, I just want to do a scheduled one every month. And I was like, I have reasons why I think it's important to have those spaces and whatever. But I kind of just wrote to Nike and was like, hey, is this something you'd be interested in at all? It's like community based. Like I want to run this thing every month. I actually originally wrote to them to say, do you have any studios that you work with? And if so, would you be able to like give us the space every month?
Right.
Because I thought I had seen like, they work with a studio or something, and I was like, I don't know like if I've got that wrong. Do you have a studio? Do you work with a studio? Like, is there somewhere that we could have that like we could put on a session once a month and just have it be like an open training session? So then they asked if I wanted to come in and have a chat more about it. And the more I kind of articulated to them why it was, because obviously the first thing is like, okay, first of all, it was like, we don't have a studio.
Right.
So no, we can't do that, but come in and let's chat about it. So I went and chatted about it, and it was like, okay, well, tell me more. Why is it important? What's this thing? What is it? And the more I articulated it, the more like stuff, even for me, that came out of like why it was so important. I was like talking about how expensive studio space is, how it's like it's hard for like the dancer who wants to dance to also be the one that takes the initiative to run the thing. It's like we need to run the things for other people. I also have a side rant, which I'm not going to go into now, about how there's so many studios and not that many open session for freestylers. And it's like all of your teachers are making money off what we create.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Not necessarily me, but like the community creates styles and builds them and changes them. Your teachers then see that, go make routines and teach. It's like it would be nice to give some space back to the community that this all stuff bubbles up from. You know what I mean? Anyway. So I was kind of talking to them, and the more meetings we had, the more I had to like pitch things and articulate. They were like, okay, well, tell me more. Okay, well, could you write that down? Okay, well, could you turn that into a pitch or whatever? So then it was like, I mean, we spoke about some of it at the time when I was trying to articulate more of it, but it's like, even the aspect of like, okay, when you pay for an expensive studio in London for 3 hours and there's like however many of us that go to train, it's not really an inviting environment for like new people.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I can, like, first of all, you're not going to know about it. It's absolutely secret unless you're not one of those 10 people or whatever. And even if you do know about it and you go along, it's like, we don't have that much time and the studio is expensive. So either do your rounds or get out. Like, like no one's just chilling and hanging out as much. There's a few spaces.
Yeah.
There's a couple of break-in spaces that are like that, but there isn't an overwhelming amount of spaces where it's like a new person could just rock up and just hang out.
Yeah. But even if you are a new person and you get in a room with like 10 experienced dancers that are going around, it's also not like, oh, let me try. Like, it's very intimidating.
Exactly. And so what we kind of built it up to was this idea of somewhere in between the studio training session and a nightclub. Because I was like, the nightclub vibe is where all this stuff started, and it's the most organic environment for these things to build. But the studio training is the most like effective environment for practicing your rounds, and especially if you're a battle dancer, like doing that type of cypher thing.
Also,
and I just to finish it, and I think the what we were thinking is like, if we can find a middle ground, it allows that nightclub social environment for people to make friends and like to train in a like more organic community sense. Cyphers happen more organically. You can also stop and go when you feel like you make friends, etc. But then with the training thing, it's like it gives you a space that's not like if we go out to a nightclub, there's drunk people everywhere. There's like
the floor is sticky.
The floor is sticky. You try and do a round and everyone starts watching you, and it's like, I didn't come here to show off. I actually kind of went to train. It's not quite the same as it used to be in nightclubs. And they're all 18 plus. The scene is a lot younger than it used to be, so that cuts out a whole demographic of the scene. So the idea of having this middle ground between a training session and a nightclub enables to like get the best of both worlds, where you have a social environment, you have DJs playing the way that DJs should play, and real music, because it's not like it's not a battle, so there's no copyright issues for YouTube, whatever. And then also you still are able to get some serious rounds in if you want to, make some friends, like have fun, etc. You know?
Yeah. No, that's sick. And what I don't remember what I was gonna say. But yeah, I was gonna say also is like the kind of training session like is kind of realistically how most of the training happens today in 2024. Like I don't think people really go to the club to train that much anymore.
Maybe like whackers house dances.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not. It depends which style.
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm just saying like I think that people kind of go with the intention of training dance now, and not necessarily like as much as back in the day. But
yeah, and especially in Europe, like it's a different clubbing scene.
Yeah,
like there aren't huge like dance specific clubs. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's like hip hop and R&B things, but again, people aren't really dancing like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, but anyway, so yeah, that's kind of how it started. The other question people keep asking is what's next?
What is next?
What is next is we don't know. So basically the idea now is we've done the 6 sessions. When we first were talking about it, they were like, how many do you want to do? And I was like, every month for the rest of our lives. And they said
like 48.
Yeah, they were like, no.
How about 6?
Yeah, they were like, how about we do 6 and then we see how it goes. So the idea has always been to do 6 and see how it goes. Now basically the process is that we're gonna collate all the evidence, so all the videos, like the testimonials that Joe filmed, all the
Crunch
comments,
some numbers,
all the like to see how many people signed up, the demographics of the people signed up, how many like younger people, how many older people, like stuff like that. And also we're going to kind of collect up like all the stuff that people have like commented on social media, etc. We will be putting a post out asking for comments and feedback. So if you see that, please do it, because all of that stuff will go directly to the internal team at Nike London. And that will kind of be, it's like we don't know exactly what we're pitching for yet. So it could be more sessions. It also could be to do something but different.
Like a different concept.
Yeah, different concept. It's just to more pitch like we did a good thing. Shall we talk about the next thing?
Yeah, like
so
can we do more?
Yes. And so if you want to see more Capsule Nike London collaborations and you think the stuff we've done so far has been good, please make that publicly known on any of our posts concerning these things, because we'll collect all of that up. But yeah, it's really important, I think, to let people know that you're enjoying the stuff. And yeah, I think that's it on what's next. Like we'll announce it as soon as there's something to announce, or if there, whatever's next. This isn't necessarily the end of our partnership with Nike. It's just the end of these sessions. So we're still in contact with them, and we just have to kind of go project by project and see what's next. Basically,
yeah, it was the end of season 1.
Yeah,
who knows what season 2 has in store.
And the more support we get from the community, the more chance there is of there being a season 2.
Yeah, I just really want them to do the battle again.
Yeah, I would love to do them to do the battle again.
The On the Floor.
That was so good. And I think we could even make it bigger this time.
Yeah.
There was like not enough space
in
Nike Town, London for all the people that wanted to come to that.
I want to do it at Roundhouse.
That would be sick. We could do a really sick, like, you could even do it as two on two.
Oh, controversial.
And do 100 grand prize money. Oh no, they've already done that. No, I would probably do a 1-on-1 again, but yeah, we could definitely make it bigger.
Exciting.
Is there anything else on the sessions? Just a massive thank you to everyone that came, that supported, that was part of it. I said this on the night, but like all the people that, all the creatives that were involved, all the DJs, the host. You did a great job.
Thank you.
You're a crazy lady, but you did a great job.
I had some nights that were better than others, but
happens for all of us. Yeah, and then all the exhibitions and the showcases and just all the people that attended. It was so nice to see so many people that I didn't know.
Yeah.
It was so cool. And the other thing that's like for you guys to know also is that all the traffic that came to the sessions was through the capsule. So
True that.
Nike weren't advertising on their side, besides like they did one post, like a collab reel that we did, but like even on their website and stuff, you had to go through the capsule to find the link. So it's great because it shows that we had that reach, but also it's crazy that it's like all of these people, there was a lot of people that I didn't know there.
Yeah, that you were like, oh, I've reached you, but I don't know who you are. Yeah,
which is A, great, and B is like, it's also nice because it shows that this is a different type of environment than the battles. Like I've been in battles for the last 17 years. Like I know all the people. It's rare that someone is like in a battle, not like let's say in the top 16 of a battle that I don't know. So it's like, it's the same group of people all the time, which is nice. And you know, it's part of what makes it competitive is like, you got to work hard to get in that. But it is nice to have this like more welcoming and open environment where it's like all of those people for the last 6 months can say, I'm a part of the UK street dance scene. Whereas before it's like, if you don't get through to the top 16 of a battle, or you know, whatever, or even if you lose in early rounds or something, you can kind of feel like, oh, I'm not a part of this scene until I pass through a prelim. Sure. And even if you're too scared to enter prelims, you can feel like, oh, I didn't enter the prelim, so I'm not technically a part of the scene, because in a battle event, there's very specifically something to be a part of or to not be a part of. You're either audience or you're in it. Whereas this, even if you weren't going hard in the cypher, you were just there chilling and talking and making friends, you're part of the scene. Like, and I think that is true, and it's the way it should be, that like everyone should feel included and should feel like they're part of this scene no matter what they do. And we need the battles and we need the high level specialists in their style, but we also need the casual events, and we need the younger people, and we need the people who are doing it like as a hobby. And it's like you need that diversity of intention, let's say, in the room for the scene to be rich and full of, you know, fun.
It's like I feel like in order to like have a good ecosystem,
that's
like
a good word,
you can't have everybody be the same role. Like you can't have everybody be a predator. You know, you need like the plants and the like
right
and the bees and the birds and the like so I
prey.
feel like and so it feels like you know, like the battle really cultivates a certain kind of person in the ecosystem, but there's a lot of other people as well that, you know, might be disconnected from the like kind of freestyle hip-hop scene because they don't go to battles, but they're still part of it, but it's separated. So I think this was a really good way to bring a bunch of the people together and to like you know, fertilize the ecosystem.
Nice.
Agriculture.
That's exactly what we're here to talk about. But yeah, and also just a huge thank you to Nike London. Like they've been an amazing partner so far. Big love to Harry, who's been absolutely fantastic. But also, just the wider team. Fern's been great at like working on and producing the events. The Playmaker team are amazing. Just everyone's been great to work with. It's really, I've done a lot of work where I don't get on with the team or they're not my favorite people, but these guys are like everyone on the Nike job.
They're on it.
But they're not only are they fantastic at their jobs, they're all nice people. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just been like, oh, what a great job to work on. And it meaning stuff to the community is like, you know, this could be a corporate job that is just like, shooting behind the scenes and I would be happy about. But like the fact that it's like an actual community event that means something to people is great. Yeah, you should be proud of yourself. Look at you. Look at where you started and where you are now. Look what I've done with your life. You did not do that with my life. Okay, well. But we got to plan something for the Capsule's 3-year anniversary. 5-year we have to do something big, but 3-year we should do a little something. Yeah. Maybe like a little bar or something. Yeah, we should do something. Yeah. Okay, let's plan it. Shout out all the loyal listeners, everyone that tunes in. You guys are all invited to the Capsule's 3-year anniversary. Yeah. We'll do a little something here as well. I'm thinking about grabbing some of the old crew, Tally, Abe, maybe if he's around, and we'll just have some drinks and talk shit and do an extra long pod for you guys. And yeah. What's up, everyone? We're going to take a quick break so I can tell you about the Capsule's YouTube memberships. We've now introduced 2 membership tiers which you can use to support and help us grow. First, the Capsule Contributor tier is £1.99 a month and will earn you a loyalty badge and contribute towards the sustainability of the Capsule's entire platform. Secondly, we have the Loyal Listeners tier, which is £4.99 a month. And here's where it gets good. There will be an extra private episode for every public episode we release, which will be only for the loyal listeners. You can request topics, hear our real and raw thoughts, and get behind the scenes and exclusive content in addition. Every single penny we receive from these memberships will go directly into the Capsule platform, helping us to grow and evolve in so many ways. All you have to do is click the join button in our profile or under this video for more details. We really appreciate everyone's support on the journey so far, and we're super excited to move into this new phase. But first, let's get back to this episode. All right, so we talk about some of the other events that happened this weekend?
Yes.
Cool. So I was not at the Rain Crew Jam.
That's true.
So this is you.
I was at the Rain Crew Jam. It was great. I got there when it was the top 8 for breaking. So it was like the prelims had just finished. So I feel like I timed my arrival perfectly.
Yep.
And yeah, it was great event. It was great vibe. It was at Rich Mix in Shoreditch, and it was 2-on-2 breaking, and then 1-on-1 all styles. So 2-on-2 breaking, it was, what were they called? I think they called themselves Wiggly Warriors.
Who's that?
So
Jetsai and Connor.
Yeah,
they call them Wiggly Warriors.
yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Warriors is, I don't know why Wiggly, but
I don't know. I think it was Wiggly or something that ends with Iggly. Jiggly? Wiggly?
Warriors?
I don't think it was Jiggly Warriors. But
if it's not, it should be.
Yeah.
In fact, all of Ill Warriors should change their name to Jiggly Warriors.
Yeah.
That's when they put on weight.
Oh, wow. That's like for when they're going to be 60 plus.
Yeah, when Jiggly Warriors. Sick. Yeah.
No, it definitely was
also, I didn't realize because Just Jam shared the exhibition battle, which is up on YouTube, by the way, from the Nike sessions. But they put like Lions versus Warriors, and I was like, what is that? And then I looked, it's like Battle Lions. I was like, oh, is that why they're called battalions, like Battle Lions? I was like, that's sick.
That's sick.
Anyway, continue.
So Connor and Jetsai won.
Yeah.
The 2-on-2 breaking. And then Dirty Harry won the all-style versus Sean.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a really good vibe. It was like quite quick paced. Like from the top 8, it was just back to back.
We love that.
Like to the finals. And I have to say, I just love that.
Like, just get on with it, not make it too long and drag it out.
Yeah, and it was just like really well paced and like really smooth running.
Yeah.
Chili and oh my god, why can't I not?
Oh, the host?
Yeah, what was the other?
Don't know. I can look.
Why do I have Wayne in my head? It's not Wayne.
That's hilarious. Warren.
There
we go.
Oh my god, what a brain fart I had. I was like, his name is not Wayne, but there's a W.
Okay.
So Chili and Warren were hosting, and I just really liked them as a hosting duo as well. Good vibe. Francesca was DJing.
Yeah, heard she did a good job.
Yeah. With and DJing for all styles is also an interesting topic /
it's difficult
thing, but there's different approaches to it, which I think is interesting. And then there was another DJ whose name I also forget that was DJing for the breaking, because she was doing the all style.
Sick.
But no, it was a really good event, and I know there was like the event and the proceeds of the event went to Palestine.
Yeah, so I don't want to attempt to say the name of the organization because I cannot pronounce that. Beit Al Mafiti. Oh God, I'm sorry, guys. But basically, it says will go to this organization helping to provide 3 months rent and basic essentials for 50 families who've been forced to evacuate Gaza and are now stranded in Egypt without food, money, or shelter. I love the targeted fundraising and like the targeted cause. Like this is for a specific thing. And if you can't make it to the jam, you can still get involved and support by making a donation to the link above or directly to this organization. So it's on the Rain Crew. You'll see Clint's beautiful face in the video. So scroll down until you see Clint's face, and it has an explanation of the cause and the organization that you can still, I think, donate to, hopefully. But if not, just contact Rain Crew. They'll be able to direct you to where to donate to help out with that.
Yeah, which is really nice. And I think like in these, obviously with the conflict, or not the conflict, but like the genocide happening in Palestine, but also like any conflict that's happening internationally, it can feel like and I felt like that, so powerless in the face of something that's one happening really far away, two, like when you feel like there's so many different things that are happening that we don't feel like we can really make a difference. But it's really nice to see, organizations within the street dance community like mobilizing themselves and, kind of taking care of their own little corner of the universe. Like, okay, this is what we do and we can make a difference in that way. Let's action it and do it. And I feel like I have to give props to Rain Crew for that, because I do feel like they're always doing stuff for, good causes, and they're always
since forever.
Yeah, very active in like kind of like impoverished communities, even within the UK, but also being active, like putting jams on, like bringing artists, from like, I know they did quite a few jams in the Middle East. Like they did projects, I think in Kenya, like research projects. So I think they're really always active in like kind of international causes. And I know like Moran and Clint are quite like heading that. Yeah. So it's so nice to see, people that want to change things with the art form that they practice. So yeah, I think that what they do is super meaningful and important.
I heard it was a great jam as well.
Yeah, it was
on top.
I mean, the dancing was like really dope, and the level was high, and I think also there was definitely an atmosphere of like people showed up for the cause as well as for the battle, but there was a sense of like we all showed up to support this cause, which is kind of an added thing of not necessarily just a battle, but
it makes it special.
Yeah, there's like something else that we're all kind of here to.
And Rich Mix is also a nice venue.
Yeah.
For battles. But yeah, sounds great.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rain Crew. We love you.
We love you.
Long time friends of ours. And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then same day was World of Dance London.
Yes.
Which I was at. We split forces so that we could talk about it effectively on the pod. World of Dance London was interesting.
Where was it?
It was that's a great place to start. It was in the Indigo O2.
Okay.
Which is a small venue, which is in the O2 Arena.
It should be called Indigo 2.
I think it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called the Indigo 2.
Okay. Well, never mind then.
And hold on. The capacity is
20,000 people.
No, 2,350.
Okay.
Which was altogether too much.
Like too much, too big. The venue was
too big. I think it's a lovely venue.
Right.
Because it's a really big, fancy venue. Like, I mean, even though it's not the main O2 Arena, it's still beautiful in there. And it's really like the tech team and the lighting, and they all know what they're doing and blah, blah, blah. So it's a really nice venue. I just think like there wasn't that many people there to fill that. And a lot of them were upstairs seated. So like downstairs felt quite empty. And it just, that also kills the vibe a little bit when it's like loads of space in like that amount of people like packed into like a 300 seat venue or whatever would have been
great,
like amazing. But yeah, it's just a bit like I think it was just a bit like I don't know what the expression is, but like overkill maybe for what it was. Obviously maybe there was like something that happened that made not as many people came, but
also World of Dance hasn't happened in London for a few years, no?
Yeah, I think the last time was when we were at it, but that one was quite packed.
Yeah, but how long ago was it?
Yeah, exactly. It was quite a while ago.
Because it's like, I feel like, in order to fill a venue like that, you have to either like have a way that you're like what is the strategy in bringing in 2,000 people through the door? Unless you're kind of growing it organically and you're like, okay, you hit 500 and you're selling out, you hit 700
you can't,
and you're
off the bat out. To do 2,350 is quite,
it's a big dream.
And also
not big dream, but
also
ambitious.
Based on the name alone, it's not going to do that. And I think that is where maybe my criticism, or that's how it felt with World of Dance, is like I don't feel like there was any, because the team, as far as I can tell, aren't from here.
Yeah.
So I feel like there wasn't really like a community or even industry. Like maybe I'm wrong, because that World of Dance is not necessarily my scene.
Yeah.
But I did talk to a few people. But like there wasn't really so much like, okay, let's connect with the community and try and get people in. It was like, this thing's happening in your city, come to it. Like it didn't feel like there was as much of a build up organically. Obviously they did their advertising and their marketing and stuff, but I think you need a little bit more than that to get that many people in. Like I said, that what they did would have been great if it was even 400 or 500 seat.
Yeah, would
have been great, you know. But I just think it was like, for that huge of arena, you really got to like, you got to build it up for months to make it something huge. And like they had the competition aspect of it, but it's like a lot of those people were like overseas and stuff like that. There was like some UK people in it, but yeah, I don't know. It just felt like there could have been a more of a community build up to it. Also, I feel like the World of Dance
brand,
not brand, no, the like what they put on stage is a really interesting. Like I don't know what to make of it. Like the people that perform and like how it comes across, like what type of performances happen, because it's more theater than like the choreo stuff. Let me finish. It's more theater than like so if you go to like Dancers Delight or something, that's like straight
showcase,
choreo showcases. It's like, here's the stuff that we can bang out, like this is purely for dancers, this is like our routines and that type of thing. This is a bit more like they have costume, they have some type of theme, they might be like puppets or I don't know, this type of thing, right? Sure. But it's not as theater. So it's not as much as like Breaking Convention going into like the theater thing. So it's still very like front facing choreo, transitions, song changes, sound, you know what I mean? So it's like got that from the choreo stuff, but it's gone, you know what I mean? It's somewhere in between, and it's a really interesting thing because I found myself thinking like, who, like I always find like, say if we talk about these choreo showcases, it could be Dancers Delight, or we used to have something called Choreographer's Ball here, a few other things like those like straight up choreo showcases. The impression I always got, and there's some people like we're gonna have Ema on the pod at some point when she comes to London, but like she's from that generation. It's like I want to chat to her about this stuff. I mean, Tally's also a great person to ask about this, but it's like I got the impression in those days that it's like these are professional choreographers who are choreographing for artists and for auditions and for jobs. Yeah. And this is their chance to like showcase that art out of the restrictions of a job.
Sure.
So it's like, I make these routines all the time. Let me show you what I would make if I was to choreograph for Chris Brown. Or or even choreographers that aren't there yet that are like for example, we did a few things like when I was in those days, and it was almost like, okay, I'm going to choreograph to this Chris Brown song as if I had been asked to choreograph for Chris Brown, and this is my chance to show what I would do in the video or what I would do on stage or whatever, you know. Yeah. All with that kind of industry thing in mind at the end of the thing. I think now there's like, I don't know, a whole other scene with it, and it's its own scene. And I don't know where the World of Dance thing fits, because also theatre, again, it's something I'm a bit more familiar with, but it's like, okay, you do, let's say Breaking Convention or whatever, and there might be like 5-10 minute showcases. But the kind of idea with Breaking Convention is that you're building up towards an hour long piece. So it could be, like I said, it could be like an amateur thing, but it's like, all right, if I had an hour piece, here's what it would look like. Here's what 5 minutes of it would look like. And of course, some of them need more time and work, and some of them are closer to that. But that's the kind of the underlying vibe of hip hop theatre showcases like Summer Dance or Breaking Convention or whatever. It's like, this is a story, a snippet of a story, let's say, that you've put on stage and whatever. World of Dance, I'm like, I don't know what your end game is. Like, it's almost like, in a way, like there isn't one. It's like, oh, this is just the thing. And then if that's the case, I'm like, I don't know, there's not so much like depth in some of the work. I'm just like, oh, it's just kind of nice choreo. that looks pretty, but like where are we going with this? What's the end game here? Like, is this supposed to be a commercial thing eventually? Is this supposed to be for like, because it's like you don't have enough space and time to do something super creative like theatre, but you also, I don't know.
But how long were the pieces? Like,
I think some of them were a bit longer. They weren't like short, like
3
it wasn't
minutes.
like UDO type of short pieces. It was a bit longer. I don't time them, but yeah.
Fair.
But it's just interesting to see, and like, it was nice to see a different type of event, you know, there, and like it is nice when there's like a different organization running things. It's just something new and fresh for the scene. So I think it's like it was interesting to see. I think there's a lot of things that could be improved, but I don't think it was like a bad event by any stretch. It wasn't like it ran on time, like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like anything where I was like, oh, this is like, you know, like you could tell they've run events before and they know what they're doing, you know, like so. Unless I wasn't privy, I wasn't also behind the scenes at all. I was just there as an audience member. So unless there was stuff that I wasn't privy to that went wrong, like from an audience perspective, I was like, yeah, it's cool. It's a good event.
How long was it?
It wasn't too long. It like I can't remember what time it started, but it was like 3 hours or something like that. I think it was like 6 till 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, something like that. I think maybe it started a bit late, but I mean, that's forgivable. But yeah, I think I like the O2 as a venue though, that Indigo, if you can afford it and you can fill it out. Like there's so many restaurants and bars outside, like it's really nice. I mean, a pint of cider was £7, so Jesus Christ. But besides that, inflation. It was good. Well, yeah, I mean, when we were in Swindon, a double Disaronno and cranberry was £4.
But that's also Swindon.
I know, but
where dreams
£7 for just a cider.
Where dreams really do come true.
That is what they say about Swindon.
Yeah.
And then we had it was the night. Which night do we have with the guys here? That was Friday night after the Nike thing. Yeah. We had Jetside, Connor, Harry, Lewis, Ross.
Yeah.
All here. So we had a big party at the house. No, it wasn't. And then Sunday was Last One Standing.
Yes.
Which you also came to.
Which I also came to. Which you also came to.
Which I also came to. We did the live stream for Last One Standing at the Samsung KX space, which is just King's Cross. So yeah, well, shout out to, I mean, we had Recklessly Lee Crowley on the podcast a few episodes ago. So if you want to know more about Last One Standing and the concept, please check that out. Also, we do have the live stream on our YouTube, but it's because of, I mean, it might be back up by the time this comes out, but there was loads of copyright disputes, as there is every time we do a live stream. So what happens is you have to dispute all of those. When you dispute it, they have 30 days to respond. If they don't respond, you're fine. If they do respond, they could either say, yeah, you're good, or they could say, no, we're keeping it, which means it stays down.
Right.
While they're reviewing it for those 30 days, they put it back up.
Oh, okay.
But only after 48 hours. Okay. So you do a dispute, you wait 48 hours, it comes back up for the 30 days. And if they don't respond within that time, it's gone. So we're now in that space where it's going to be up, but we don't know what they're going to say. And if they respond, because a few times it's happened where they've responded and said, nah.
Is it?
Yeah, but a lot of times they respond and say, okay, fine. Like, because you put all your justification into YouTube. You say, like, oh, we're not monetizing from it. It's a community event, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But sometimes they can just be assholes. So that'll be back up under our live tab, but also Last One Standing have the footage, so at some point it will be out. So don't stress too much, guys. I love that event. I thought it was really, really cool. The concept's amazing. For everyone that doesn't know, it's 10 dancers get chosen after some qualifications and some invites. Each dancer has 3 lives. They battle each other until literally the last one is standing. Yeah, I think it was great. There was an issue with the space a little bit with the network went down in the middle, but they dealt with it great. Also, by the way, for those that don't know, Samsung don't sponsor that event. It's something that you should know. Then it's not a sponsor of the event. They gift the space. So if you're using some of that technology for them to put on the event, but the event is purely funded and run by Lee and Jamie. So it's really like yeah, they even if it's at a fancy space, they're still working their ass off and doing all of that off their own back, basically. So yeah, I think they deserve some credit for that. And it's easy to see the big Samsung space and the fact and go, oh, they've
made it.
Yeah, and all that they're giving them funding. Like it's not a Nike situation.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Like they're working their ass off to make that event happen. So shout out to them. Not that I'm not also working my ass off, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I thought it was a great event. I really, really, really enjoyed the concept. It brought some really nice stuff out of people. I can't wait to see like a strict. This is all styles. Yeah. I can't wait to see like a popping version of that or a hip hop version. That's gonna be so sick.
Is he gonna do it?
We're gonna do it.
Oh, you're gonna do it.
Me and Lee.
Okay.
We're gonna start it off in a studio.
Okay.
We spoke about this on the pod,
right.
but we're gonna do some studio versions of it. Where we're gonna invite people, just run the concept and film it and put it out as content. So we're gonna do those as events.
Right.
Maybe we'll let people like bring a friend or two and do it like that.
Right.
And then we'll see if like how that builds up. Let's call it R&D for the event. We're gonna try it out and see, and then then he can maybe like even, I don't know, this might be your forte, but like go for funding or try and find a way to like get partners or something to make it happen. But I can't wait to see that happen. That's gonna be really sick. And then what else? I think so. They had 6 guests, so they needed 4 more people. So they did top 32. Yeah. Top 16, top 8, and then after the top 8 they had their 4, and then they started the concept. I think, which is something you said as well, I think the 32 is a bit too much. Yeah. I think we could have gone
top 8.
No, one battle. No, I think 16.
Okay.
Because what I would have done is actually top 10 and done 5 guests, 5 5 qualified dancers. So you do top 10 top 20. Yeah. Then to the top 10. Yeah. And then the winners of the top 10 go to the 5. Because it's funny because it's like they did top 32 like in that 32-16, but you don't, that's only because you had 4. You don't have to keep it in the same. Yeah. We usually do that because it has to be even brackets, but you could have 5 if they're joining another 5. Yeah. So yeah, but besides that, I think it went really well. The crowd were like into it. And I said to Lewis at the day, but I was like, look at the difference in the crowd. Like, this doesn't always happen in a battle because it's like you get knockouts and it's done. But this one, it was like every time someone wins, like we were talking about it with Manny, but it's like the storytelling of the event. Yeah. You're like, oh, he's on 3, he's on 2. If he calls it, oh, he's got 1. Oh, like Kane was doing some, like, there's some really interesting like tactics. I think the B-boys were a bit more tactical, but there was a few of them that were like tactical. Like Kane was really tactical, and I appreciated that with him because it could have made him look like the bad guy. But basically, it's like when there's people down on 1 life, if they lose, they're out. Yeah. And the less people that are in, the closer you are to winning. Yeah. So Kane knocked out, I think, 4 people in a row that were all on 1. Like he was like, okay, I'll call you out because you're on 1 life. And everyone was like, ooh, because he was on 2 or 3. And then beat them, they were out of the competition. Then he called the next person that was and he like 4 in a row of the people that were on 1 life and like knocked them out. But that's good tactics. That's like the name of the game. It's like, you know, we've gotten used to this knockout system where it's like you just get paired up with someone, you dance your best and go home. Now this is like tactics to try and win, and it's like if you care about winning, you got to do some shit.
Yeah, and also it's nice to see the dancer, like to see each dancer more than once.
Yeah, exactly. And you start to be like, oh, he's my favorite, or I hope he does better, or I like this guy, or I can't wait.
Yeah, and even
him.
Like different people against different, like same person against a different person.
Yeah, yeah.
Also brings out a different thing rather than like
on different songs or a rematch you know.
Yeah, so I definitely thought it was a really nice concept. Also, it's like gamifying battles a little bit, you know? So it's like...
Literally.
And like the screen was a really nice thing that you see like when a life gets knocked out and stuff. So yeah, I think the battle is sick and it's really, really nice. I think it has like also a real potential to be like appealing to like more general audience so that they can see what's happening and kind of follow the players. And like, you know, I think there could even be like because Lee and Jade were hosting and they did a great job as well. I think it was like really nice.
Jade was actually really funny.
Yeah, she was really funny. But it's like, you know, I feel like there could even be like commentary about like people's tactics, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, that's the thing. And that's why I really liked what we did.
Like on the live stream.
On the live stream, because we we had the live stream and I was commentating on that, and I think that's what I said to Lee, because initially he hadn't asked, he had just asked if we could work together somehow. So I was I volunteered to film basically, and the comment I said, if Samsung have the facilities to do a live stream, I think we should, because it's the perfect thing for a live stream, because you want to tune in, and also you want to hear the commentary. The thing in the room is like, if you're hosting and you talk too much about the battlers' tactics, they can hear that. True that. I could say stuff on the stream that the battlers can't hear. So I can say, he's doing this, or if he does this next, he's gonna. And it's like, you also don't want to like get in people's heads unnecessarily.
Okay, fine.
Like I could say, he's got one life left. If he loses that, he's lost twice to Jordan already, and if he loses this one, he's out. That's not nice to hear if you're a dancer. True that. But like on the stream, I can get away with it, and you can hear it afterwards. But you know,
okay, fine. I retract my comment.
But I know what you mean. It's like there's a lot. I think there's a lot more to it. For me, I said this before on the pod with Lee, I think it's like the best battle concept that exists. I think it's better than Seven to Smoke. I think it's better than the knockout battles. Like it takes the same amount of time. It's more interesting to watch, and it's like, and the general audience can get into it, and it's more of a like appealing concept, even if you don't understand the dance. Like I don't see how any other concept is better than this, except for the fact that you have to do less rounds as a dancer, and like if you know you're going to get to the finals or win something, it's easier for you, but you're one person out of the whole event. So like in catering to not only the audience but also all of the dancers that are part of that event, like I'd rather be a part of that last one. Like let's say Ashton A. He lost 3 battles in a row, basically, like his first 3 battles that he got called out, but he got to battle 3 times and he was part of the concept. So like he got more out of the event than if he just got through to top 16 and got knocked out after 1 round, you know. It's like and people saw more of him, and it's like, I think you get more out of that. So I don't see, especially, and it's also a lot of these concepts that people have for battles, a lot of them, it like interrupts how we dance, and it makes it into something else. Like if you use props, it's like, but that's not how I train or what I train for. Or if you do, I don't know, something else. It's like this type of concept maintains the integrity of the dance. You're still doing banging rounds and taking things seriously. It's just in a more gamified way. Yeah. Which I think is dope.
True that.
Justin, true that.
I have to say though, one thing that I would pitch silly, because I didn't see it, but I feel like because there's a pre-selection and a battle to get to the main event, like I feel like it should be more clearly advertised that like what time the main event starts. Yeah,
and I think, to be honest, what would be even better is to have 2 days. Yeah, to have like prelims, top 6, like then do top 32 all the way, you know, whatever up to, or do top 40 to top, you know, whatever you want to do, right? Yeah. But like, I think that main thing needs to be just one. I do like the newcomers cypher. They have like a newcomer cypher where everyone gets a chance to jump on stage or whatever. They also had like a showcase and stuff. But I would do that event as like one day and like pad it with like do some performances and that type of shit. But
yeah. So I think it would be sick to kind of like, because I realize also as I'm getting older, and also like I'm not as much of a what I'm saying is like I'm not as much of a active battler, meaning I'm not an active battler at all. But it's like I think my stamina for long events as an audience member is like getting less and less.
It's always been the case, no matter who you are. Like we put up with it because we love battles, but we still don't love it. Like even so, like I'm at a lot of battles, and I still consider myself somewhat active at battling and dancing, but like I hate it. I hate long. It's like you shouldn't. You know, it is a long day. No one really wants to watch prelims besides the people that are in it. No one, like the top 32, it starts to get interesting, but then by that time you've already sat through a long prelims and whatever. It's like, I think as much as you can, it's like trying to find a way to do these things.
Yeah, and I'm like more and more becoming a general audience member, you know, but I'm just like, tell me what time the main event starts. Tell me what time I have to come for me
to just be there for that.
To like see the exciting stuff, and I will gladly be there for that and enjoy it.
Yeah, I think they did say it, but I think also because the let me see if there's a schedule. But because the
yeah, I know there was technical issues.
They did have a schedule. They said the main event would be at 8:05. Right. But okay. Yeah, so it was just put. But yeah, I mean they did say
it. Fair enough. Then they did say it. But yeah, I think it's like also interesting. I mean, and even like it did say it, but. And maybe it's partly my fault for not seeing it, but I feel like a lot of times it's like dance events are marketed for dancers. So it's like, it's not like there's one post that says that information, but on all the other information, it's like prelims start at that time.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair enough. You have to look for the information, but also I think to attract more general audience, it's like making that information like.
But that's like a marketing thing, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just we're just here talking.
Would you say talking?
Yeah, this is a podcast.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, what are these mics?
What?
People are recording us.
Since when did this happen? Do you want to talk about Smooth Show?
I want to talk
Bboyizm.
Bboyizm. Yes. So Bboyizm Dance Company is primarily breaking company that's from Canada, and they are coming to the South Bank Center on July 18th, 19th, and 20th with their latest show, In My Body. That is the European premiere of that show, UK premiere as well, obviously. The show is a full length. It has a cast of 9 people, and it's called In My Body because it's about the aging as a b-boy, b-girl, dancer, athlete, performer, artist. And it's an intergenerational cast. So the oldest person in the company is 59 and the youngest is in their early 20s. So it's kind of, a range of capacities and abilities, but all within the same style. And we have a UK dance community discount code. So it's CS5 off. So 5 written with the letters, not the number. So CS5 off. And we would love for the community to show up. I think it's a really dope show. There's, there's use of text, there's projection, there's technology, there's obviously dance, but it's kind of a multidisciplinary multimedia show. Shashu, who is a well-known beat producer,
Shashu,
but also
as in the beast who got you.
It's got to be Shashu. Turn it up, let's go. But he made the music for the show. And yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of people that are part of the, like Nene, somebody who's really well known in the scene. Crazy Smooth is also well-known b-boy. Tash, yes, and Hustler. Like Tash is like an OG from Montreal. She judges a boo. And she's just like an amazing beast of a woman. And there's, so the cast is really, really dope. I invite you to come see the show. And we're also going to have some wraparound activity on the terrace at South Bank the next day. So there's going to be a UK intergenerational all-style battle. More to be announced on that exhibition battle. There's going to be showcases, some workshops. So, nice little summer day at the South Bank Center.
So that's 18th, 19th, 20th, and then 21st.
21st is like the wraparound activities.
Cool. Of June.
July. Yeah, June has already passed.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And yeah, it's going to be really dope. Also, it's like not a full circle moment, but like my journey as a producer started with Bboyizm. I wrote the company's first business plan when I was in university. And out of university, it was my first job, like trying to action that business plan.
Sick.
So it's so nice to, have them come here, and I'm supporting with some of the marketing, but also with the engagement on the Sunday, and, just kind of their, they have a whole team that's taking care of the tour and the show, but I'm just supporting with some of these elements. So it's really nice to kind of get to work with like where I come from and my origin story as a producer, and kind of facilitate like where I'm at right now in London and in the UK.
Nice.
And yeah, it's gonna be a great show, so make sure you come through.
Boom, 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 boom. I also have an announcement.
Oh,
guys, I have an announcement for you.
is it for me too, or I already know?
You already know.
Okay.
So, seeing as the Nike sessions are finished, people have been asking me, what's next? Here is what's next. So, the Capsule is teaming up and collaborating with Breaking Convention and Sadler's Wells to bring you the Olympic breaking watch parties.
Jeez, I didn't know about that.
So, on the 9th and 10th of August in Paris, the breaking will be happening in the Olympics for the first time ever and for the last time for a while. So we spoke with Sadler's and Breaking Convention, and we all decided we should definitely do something around that. So what we're going to do is in East London, in the Olympic Park in Stratford, there is a place called Riverside East, and we are going to hold 2 watch parties. One will be on the Friday, and that is going to be the B-Girls. And then on the Saturday is going to be the B-Boys. So we have a big screen. There's going to be food. There's like food stalls. There's drinks there. There's benches. There's going to be a DJ. There's going to be a little breaking floor. There's going to be, we're going to do a live panel talk just before the watch party starts. So yeah, you can come along and it's completely free. You don't need a ticket. Just show up, hang out with us, grab a drink, grab some food, support the breakers. It starts at 4 p.m. Paris time, which is 3 p.m. UK time. So we're going to start it a little bit before that. So we're going to have the panel, live panel talk / live podcast. You know how we do first. Then we're going to have from 3 p.m. until when it finishes, basically. So from 3 p.m. until when it finishes, we're going to have the watch party. So any breaks during the Olympic broadcast, we're going to spin some tunes and you can hang out and talk with your friends. Sick. And then we'll go back into it when it comes back on. But yeah, it's just a way that we can all get together, hang out, watch the battles together without having to fly to Paris. And just enjoy, support all the breakers that have put their hard work, blood, sweat and tears into this thing. So yeah, we invite you to come down and join us there. The Capsule, Breaking Convention, Sadler's Wells.
Jeez, what a combo.
9th and 10th of August, 3 p.m. for the watch party, a little bit earlier for the panel talk. So yeah, check that out.
Sorry, I interrupted you, but I was going to say, what a combo.
Nice. Cool. Thanks for that addition. Shall we wrap?
Yeah. Yo.
You've done that joke so many times.
Listen to my rap.
Okay, so guys, we are going to move over to the membership tier. So if you're a loyal listener and you've signed up, you can tune in there. We're going to talk about the 2v2 battle that's happening in Paris that has $100,000 prize money.
Jeez.
I have plenty of thoughts on it, but I've written to the team and they said they're going to supply me with some more information before I start wildly speculating on the podcast.
Jeez.
So what I'm going to do is wildly speculate over on the members tier. And if you want to join us over there, please do. You can click the link. It says join either under this video or on our main page of our YouTube. Unfortunately, we don't have it for the listeners only yet. It's only on YouTube. So join us there to hear me wildly speculate and share my uninformed thoughts. Otherwise, we'll talk about it more on the public podcast when I have a bit more of a grasp of the information of what exactly is going on with that.
Imagine if you like, you're a couple who dances and then you win together and then you have $100,000, you can buy a house. Well, not a house, but
yeah. I mean, if there was someone that I battled with and I won with them, I'd be tempted to get in a relationship with them just so we could pool our money together and buy a house.
I wouldn't even blame you.
Fair. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for coming along to the Nike sessions. Thank you for supporting the podcast. There's so many people, I have to say this, there's so many people that came up to me over the weekend, whether it was at the Nike sessions, a lot of it was at the Nike sessions, but also at World of Dance, also at other places that said, oh, I listen to the podcast every week. Thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. And like, honestly, that means so much to me. Like, it's crazy, like meeting people that say like, oh, I tune in every week and stuff. Because I love you all, but you don't always like leave comments and stuff like that. But it's nice to know, to meet people that actually listen, and to like know that there are actual people out there that listen every week to us, and appreciate it, because we are just in the house here with our own setup, and it does kind of sometimes feel like I'm just talking into the abyss and just staring at a camera and talking. But when I meet people and I'm like, they say, you know, Marley Hightower, who I did a review of her Blackbird video on the pod, and I saw her at World of Dance, and she walked past me, and then she was like, "Wait, I know you." Oh. She's like, I've seen your videos. You did a review of my thing, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I did." And she was like, "Oh, that was cool." And then like we spoke about maybe her coming on the pod when she's next back in London. Awesome. But it's just so cool to see, like, these things that I just think I'm just talking at no one and into the camera, and then it's like, oh, there's real people on the other end of it that are listening. And it's also like just staring at the YouTube analytics doesn't really do it justice. Of like, you say, oh, I don't know, 300 views on a video, and you're like, meh, like, okay, cool. But then you meet someone and they're like, oh my God, I listened to that episode. I loved when you said this. Or like one of the mums of one of the younger dancers came up to me at Last One Standing, and she was like, that person that did the prelims, number 42 or whatever, did he do Memphis Jerking? Because I've seen you talk about Memphis Jerking loads, and I told my son he should definitely look into practicing it. But like I wanted to ask you, is that what it? And I hadn't seen the person, but I was like, it's so nice. That it's like, not only are you say, oh, I know you have a podcast, but like I'm listening to specific
I'm engaged.
things. Or like people are like, oh, I can't get to battle, so I feel included, or like, you know, I don't dance as much as I used to, and that enables me to keep up with it. But like, talking to someone face to face that's saying I listen to your podcast every week is like so cool, and like makes it feel like you know, worth it, and I'm energized to do another week.
It's like, if you like not it's crazy, but it's like if you look at like social media numbers or whatever, it's kind of like, oh yeah, 300 is not that many. Also, but
I'm watching podcasts with like 100,000 views, and I'm like, oh.
But also, if you get a room with 300 people in it, you're like, oh yeah, it's packed.
It's like, if we like, let's say 300 to 500 is like our average on YouTube, and then we have another between 80, 100 to sometimes 200-300 on the audio only. Right. So even if it's 500, if we were to do this live, and let's say half of that, we had 250 people show up every single week. Yeah. You know, like for 184 episodes, that would be crazy. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But we do this for you for free. Yeah. Besides the membership tier, which we're now going to go on to. So all that to say, love you all. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for supporting the Nike sessions. Thank you all for supporting the Capsule. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I love you. Jenny loves you.
I miss you.
And we'll see you
on the other side of the paywall.
And then also next week back here. Peace.